What's up, everyone? I'm Merk, and this is Trading Shots, a show where our panelists debate all things CWL. I'm handing out points for strong arguments and hot takes. Today, we are prepping for Anaheim, but first, let's talk Division B with Pacman, Nameless, and Ben. Good to have you guys, as always. How you doing?
Good. Surprise, surprise. No Clint Maven Evans. He's
not
here again.
Skipped work again. No surprise, but we got in. I mean, you guys just filled with Call of Duty intelligence.
Exactly. I'm excited to be here, and I can't wait to get to Anaheim and get on the desk with you, brother.
My guy.
Well, last time they actually bumped heads.
Yeah, they actually rubbed heads.
You don't have a bald head, so
yeah.
It's fine. All right, guys, let's get it going with First Blood. Splice, they had to bring in Nolson as a substitute. They drop accuracy. And the question I want to know, where does Splice have to place to keep Nolson in the lineup post-Anaheim? Ben, we're going to start with you.
That's a tough question, Joe.
It is.
And you look at Splice and how they performed so far throughout the year. They've had a couple of really good placements, and I think you need to replicate that to have any chance of keeping Nolson in the lineup. So I would say has to be a grand final, whether it's first or second. That's where it simply needs to be, because I think Splice have a lot of options. And I mean a lot of options. This is a good core team, and when you have Temp, who's been so good all year long, he drops such a big amount of damage almost every single map. A lot of people want to team with him, Joe.
Yeah, I think a lot of people want to be on this Splice roster if possible. Obviously, they've had their problems, but they have some of the best placings at open events. Nameless, for you, you're keeping Nolson. Where do they have to place?
I think the only way you keep Nolson is if you win the tournament, right? Because you've had some fantastic placings before. You've gotten third. You've gotten top 3 at 2 tournaments. And if you don't win and you get second, and that's a fantastic placing with him, but you can go start to get other players. They've already proven they can run any role. Looney can run a SOG, you can run a Maddox, Temp can run a SOG, you can run a Maddox, Aqua can run an ICR, or you can run a Maddox. So they have players who are very versatile. I think the only way you keep Nolson is if you win that tournament. You can take him out, pick up another player, put them into your system that you've been preaching, that you taught the people how to play this game. I think you'll be fine.
All right, so Nameless also thinks a tournament win. Pack, for you, is that trend change at all? Obviously, it's going to be tough, right? Post-Anaheim, there is not a lot of time for these teams to work with. Is there any way you see Nolson on this roster post-Anaheim?
No. And I mean, no disrespect to Nolson. This is going to sound weird, but even if they win, I still think that they'll make a roster change after Anaheim. It's going to give them...
After an event win?
Yes.
Wow.
And it wouldn't be the first time that a team should have made a change after a win. FaZe, after they won in Stage 1 last year, should have made a change. I'm still sticking to that. I just think that there are too many players that they believe that they can get to go into the big money tournaments at the end. No offense to Nolson, he's done a great job, but this is not their guy going forward. This is a guy that's filling a hole. If they do win, congrats to them, but I still think that they'll go out of their way and make a change to try to make their roster even stronger, and that's just how I see it.
All right, so we did this last week with Luminosity. We're going to do it this week with Splice. I want you to be the manager of Splice. You have to make a roster move. Nameless, we're going to start with you. Sure. If you had to make one roster move post-Anaheim, or heck, it could be 2 or 3, what is your move? What is your Splice roster post-Anaheim?
All right, so usually I would charge for this type of advice, but I'll play GM for a little bit for Splice. What I would do is I would go get Brack, right? Like, Denaro is no longer an organization, so Brack is essentially free, so you can just pick him up and put him on your team, and you're fine. Brack has been an all-star all season long. He hasn't had the most fantastic teammates, and he's proven that he knows how to play this game as a Maddox and as an all-star. You can pick up kills. That's going to alleviate pressure off of players like Aqua, off of players like Temp. He doesn't need to be that superstar. So I think Brack coming into this team will make them incredible. Brack has already been on a team that was dominant at hardpoint. If he can bring some of that knowledge over to Splice, he might be able to put them over that edge to win a championship.
All right, Pac, you've been a manager before, so I love hearing your advice. If you were in this spot for Splice, what's your move post-Anaheim?
After Anaheim, I go after Skies. And the reason I say Skies over someone like Brack is because Skies is a dominant search and destroy player, and I don't think that this Splice roster will ever get to the point, like 100 Thieves or an Optic maybe, where they can win all their respawns. So I'm picking up the best search and destroy player possible, because that's the way I think that this team can actually go forward and win a tournament. I go for Skies.
All right, I like that. Search and destroy, focusing on that. I think they have enough talent, Temp, Looney, when he gets comfortable with the SOG, where they can win a couple of respawns.
They can win respawns, but they'll never be the dominant respawn team. No reason to go after a respawn player.
Okay, I like that thinking.
Brack's good at search.
Ben, for you?
Honestly, they were both really good answers.
Yeah, Ben, for you, what's your move? You're the manager now.
All right.
I know you play a lot of football, manager.
I do.
I know.
So here's what I do. But I pray we have a lot of money first and foremost. I do everything I possibly can to get gunless. everything. It seems impossible, and I understand that. I myself said, there's no way in hell you get Gunless and Temp on the same team, but I at least try. I at least throw everything in the kitchen sink at LG and say, what do you need? What do you want? What can I give you? I need to get Gunless. Because if you do get Gunless and you get Temp, and I think both of you guys will agree with me here, they're winning a championship.
Yeah,
easy. They are winning one of the 2 remaining championships, which is playoffs or champs. It has to happen. But it's so unbelievably hard. But I think my key here is, Joe, I would at least try. I would try as hard as I possibly can, because if you do get that roster, you're winning a chip.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised it took to the third person to say Gunless, but I think we all know the position that Luminosity is in, that Splice is in, how much it would take to get Gunless on your team. But I figured, you got to try. If you can get Temp and Pierce on the same team.
An arm and a leg.
That's the problem,
That's the
right?
problem.
I think
they have to give up Temp to get Gunless.
The problem is that it's more than likely a 1-for-1 trade where it would be Temp for Gunless, and is that even worth it at that point, because Temp is your star guy.
Yep.
But if you could somehow,
figure
I'm sorry to every other fan out there that supports any other team, it's a wrap. They're winning one of those events.
That's like the reason they probably wouldn't give them Gunless.
That's also the other thing.
If we give Gunless to Splice,
you're not winning a championship. Yeah, you're giving championships away.
Yeah, you would have 2 of like the top 5 players on the team.
But I would at least try.
That's scary. Yeah, I like the attempt.
Like LG has to do something. They're not going to play with them.
Yeah, that's also a good point.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with Luminosity and Anaheim, whether they play with Ricky or Gunless. We'll have to wait and see. But that's going to do it for First Blood. Let's go ahead and take a look at the scores. And I believe right now we're going to have a Pac Nameless tied with 3, Ben with
Gunless.
2. I mean, you did say yourself it's pretty much impossible.
Yeah, but come on. But come on.
You did say it was pretty much impossible. That's okay. You get to go
Only 1
first in
point.
this first one.
Oh, yay, Joe.
Ben,
I'm so
you're
excited.
only 1 point behind, dude.
All right, yeah, you're only 1 point
You know what? I feel robbed because last week everything I said
They should
came
just
true.
put Messi and Ronaldo on the same team.
I mean, yeah, they should.
They should. If you,
Godlike.
they have enough money, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, we'll see if Splice can figure it out. All right, guys, it's time now for Quickscope. Heretics have improved in every single Open. Do they do it again in Anaheim? That's the question. What they got top 8, they got top 6 at London. Ben, do you think they go further at Anaheim?
Absolutely not. No chance. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. I've been aboard the Vamos Heretics train all year long. I think you've reached your peak. I really do. This is a team which has had consistent drama within themselves, changing. They don't really know what they want to do in terms of roles. Then the psychology comes behind of Twitter and the fans getting maybe inside some of the players' head, the psyche, if you will. It seems like it's broken. You've done so well to improve every event, and that is what you strive to do. But every team reaches a ceiling. You have to now break top 4. Think about top 4, Joe. That's not possible in my mind. You're not a top 4 team.
You don't think they're, after what you saw, obviously they came into the couple of weeks, role
They're a
changes
top 6
again, we're all like, what the heck are they doing?
They're a top 6 team.
They're a top 6 team?
Top 4 team. Heretics is not a top 4 team. I'm sorry, they're just not.
All right, Nameless for you. Do you see them potentially cracking into that top 4 at Anaheim?
No, I do not. I don't think that Heretics will get top 4, and the reason being is I think that Methods, and he's been playing consistent as of late, he's been okay, but I think he's going to hold them back from cracking into that area. I played for a very long time, and getting top 4 is very difficult to do. You got to make a deep bracket run, and you have to start off pretty decent in groups as well, so it's going to be tough for them to do that. Their search and destroy has been 50-50, and their hardpoint has been better as of late, but keep in mind, just 1 week ago, they couldn't even win a respawn. They were 1-8, so I think Heretics getting top 4 is a very tall task, especially with how much better some of these teams have gotten.
Yeah, but on the other end of that spectrum, there have been a lot of teams that have gotten worse. Maybe the gates have opened for Heretics. Pacman, for you, Heretics, can they break into the top 4? Do you see them improving again?
I want to say yes so bad to argue with them, but I just can't see it. There's too many talented teams. That's what I always fall back on. Even if Heretics plays their best, even if they go out above and beyond, Methods has a great tournament. Can they beat FaZe? I think that's everyone's 4th best team right now. Can they beat FaZe? They cannot beat FaZe and Respawns. They'll probably lose a search and destroy to them at the tournament. And there's just too much talent, and that's if Heretics fires on all cylinders, if they get the right bracket, if Methods plays well. There's just too many things that go wrong for them, where it's just getting top 4 is for the elite teams, and I just don't see them as that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to see. I think the one good thing for them, I think their pool is beatable. I think they can get top 2 in their pool. I think they can get into that winner's bracket and maybe have a good showing. Again, what happened last time in London, they were able to beat Splice, but after that, they fell 2 matches in a row. The deeper you go into that bracket, you just have to be on point. We'll see, though, if they can keep that trend up, because it has been the trend for Heretics.
It's uncharted territory for them, too. Like,
yeah.
they've never placed top 4 and top 6. You know, they went through losers bracket to do that, so it's going to be very tough for them.
Yeah, we'll see. But now focusing on E United. Well, they fell in London to 100 Thieves. This time, though, they came back, beating them 3-0 in the Pro League. Now I want to know, has E United done enough to earn being called the favorite at Anaheim? Nameless, we're going to start with you. Do you think you can call E United a favorite or the favorite?
I want to say yes. They go 7-0. Pristini is playing the best Call of Duty he's ever played in his entire life. The best that I've ever seen him play. Clayster's been fantastic in Search and Destroy. That stat was like, what, 12 Search and Destroys in a row. He's gone positive. And keep in mind, the last like 4 searches we watched him play, he's like 9-2, 10-1, something crazy like that. And Simp and Abizi have not slowed down. So what I was worried about was everybody was saying Pristini or Clayster need to step up. I was like, if they step up, does that take a little bit away from Simp? It has not. Simp has been absolutely fantastic. They 3-0 Thieves. They go flawless. I think they're the favorite for Anaheim.
You think they're the favorite?
Yeah.
He's going for it. All right,
There's
Pacman to
three,
you for United.
Forefront for me.
Do you think they've done enough to be considered the favorite going into Anaheim?
I do think they've done enough. I think they're the favorite, and if there was ever a tournament that United's going to win, it has to be this one.
Yep.
This is the tournament where they're going in with the most confidence. Clay and Pristini are the reason that they did not perform in the finals. To Ant's point, they are playing well. Pristini's playing the best we've ever seen. If they're going to ever win tournaments this one, the team that they had the most trouble with was 100 Thieves. They 3-0'd them. They have the confidence knowing they can beat them. The next favorite is Optic. They beat them at the last tournament. What does United have to do to be considered the favorite? They're doing it. 7-0, beat the other 2 favorites. They got to be the favorite this time.
All right, so both of you guys going with the favorite. Ben, for you, different answer. Do you think they're the favorite?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'd love to agree with my fellow colleagues, but I just can't. For me, if you win the last event, you go into the next event as the favorite. It is as simple as that. That's how it's always been, and that's how it probably always should be. And there's also some other things to consider here. Yes, United beat 100 Thieves 3-0 in the Pro League. Congratulations. Great game. You deserve the big win. But let's be honest. The intensity of Pro League is very, very different to an intensity of an opener and a major championship. You need to see Clay and Pristini play like that at a major championship. It is as simple as that. For me, the event they should have won was London. They had the entire crowd on their side, and they couldn't do it with that. Now, you're asking for a very, very big task. I think it has to be 100 teams.
Do you legitimately think that LG was the favorite going into London?
Do you think that every team that
There's certain exceptions, I will admit. Sure.
How often has the team won
But then
back-to-back?
the meta completely changed a couple of times.
How often?
I mean, you go back TK last year, Rise last year.
Doesn't happen that often, though.
In current times, it kind of has.
I guess.
Current era, as in, it kind of has. It happens.
Other than last year, I don't think it's happened too often.
Even so, though, if you look at the Pro League, has the Pro League been enough for you? Like, if you take the Pro League, for example, right? Gen G should have had a championship.
I think
Right?
that
You see what I'm saying about how
United-
dominant they are in the Pro League? Gen G should have had a championship.
Yeah,
By that same logic.
but they've also done very well at tournaments as well.
Sure,
Like,
I agree.
We haven't seen
but
Gen G go
you
very
can't,
far.
my point is you can't just take the Pro League as, yes, they've done enough to be.
It's definitely fair to say 100 Thieves is the favorite. I just don't think it's fair to say that if you win a tournament, you're automatically the favorite for the next one.
That's fair.
That's the point I'm arguing.
All right, well, and that's why that was a question, boys. But moving on, we saw, well, both Division A, and Division B, they're finished. And, well, the pools for Anaheim were drawn. And, well, I want to know, which pool are you most excited to watch? Pacman, we're going to start with you. What is the pool that you're most excited to watch?
I'm gonna go with Pool D, and that's off the assumption that Gumless is here playing in that pool. So if Gumless is in that pool, I don't think by any means Luminosity is gonna make it out of that pool, but they can create upsets in the pool, which can make it exciting for me. Who was the first seed in that pool? It was
100 Thieves.
100 Thieves is the first seed in that pool, and I can see a world where Luminosity does beat them in that pool, and that can shift the rest of the tournament. I can see a world where they win a match against any of those teams. The worst LG has placed is 8th, right? So no matter what you say about them, no matter what their problems might be, they have championship players, and they can create upsets in that pool for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you also have Gen G in there, right,
Gen G.
as that second seed. We're just waiting for Gen G to really turn into that tournament team. They've done it at the Pro League. I feel it's the first time we've seen them struggle the last couple of weeks, but maybe they bounce back at home. Maybe they just can't come back a lot stronger, a little bit more motivation. Ben, for you, the most exciting pool for you to watch?
I have to agree with Pacman. Has to be Pool D. You look at the teams in there, it's absolutely stacked. And I think the most exciting thing for me about Pool D is there's just upset potential, right? Like, can you see LG taking a series? Yeah. Even if maybe Gunless doesn't play, they still have that potential. But Gen G is the interesting one for me because, kind of to Joe's point, we've been waiting so long for them to really come out and have a solid performance at an event and go deep and actually win a championship. This is a good chance. You start off so strong in pools traditionally. Now you have 100 Thieves. They just won the last major. You have to have that solid start again. And maybe maybe if they take number 1 seed, Joe, our bracket could be very spicy.
Yeah, that always tends to happen from time to time. There's a lot of people that are suggesting United and 100 Thieves is going to be a winners round 1 match because they could see a universe where there is an upset on Friday, and it does tend to happen. There's never been a perfect bracket, right? It very rarely happens. Someone always slips up. Nameless, for you, who is that pool to watch?
Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit different.
I
think it's Pool A, right? I think Optic, EG, Denial, and Heretics can be a very tough pool, and here's the reason why. EG have some Optic killers on that team, and EG looked fantastic towards the end of their last 2 weeks. I think if EG can somehow pull out that upset against Optic Gaming, we can see a crazy group because I still think Heretics and Denial have the potential to take out a team like EG. So it can end up being one of these situations where we see a bunch of teams sitting at 1-1, like that FaZe group and FaZe and EG group at the very last tournament. So I think that group has the potential to be insane.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. When you look at Pool A, it's really hard to call the second team. I think for the most part, unless LG does have Gunless, right? I think a lot of people are thinking it's going to be Ricky. I don't see a world where LG with Ricky beats Gen G or 100 Thieves. I just don't.
Envy look terrible.
And I think in the other pools, the top 2 is pretty set in stone. I just don't think there's a ton of depth. But when you look at Pool A, there is that depth where, yeah, sure, Optic, they could go 3-0. But who's your second place team? I think Denial could have a good Friday. They've shown some weaknesses, but it wouldn't surprise me. You know, Heretics, we know they can do it. EG got better. So, yeah, I agree with you there, Nameless. I think Pool A is the one to watch. But now we're going to be talking about the top 4. And we always talk about a dark horse team. And I want to know, who is your dark horse team to crack the top 4? There's a lot of opportunities, I think, at Anaheim with, you know, some teams who are struggling, looking at post-Anaheim for roster changes. I think there's that chance where this could be that one event. There's a team that slips in we don't expect. Ben, for you, who is that one team that cracks the top 4?
You ready for this?
Yep.
You sure?
Yep.
Denial. Sounds crazy. Sounds absolutely crazy. But here's the thing. Upsets happen. Upsets happen.
Sure.
And we have to respect the fact that this year has had some crazy, crazy moments. Do I think, as of right now, would I bet my life savings on it? Absolutely not. But out of all the dark horses, there's something about that Denial squad playing with Brack for what could be the last time. I think you're going to get star-studded performance from him because he's worried about his stock, how he's going to be perceived elsewhere. And I think the rest of the Denial guys, they have to prove something. Rated's been all talk all year. You've got to give me something. This has to be the time.
I think Ben's drunk.
I mean, yeah, I did not expect that one.
I figured no one would say that, so I just.
There's a reason why no one's saying that one, Ben.
Probably.
There's a reason why.
There probably is.
But hey, out of all the, there's so many dark horses though, right? Like that term has kind of changed.
Where do we draw the line of dark horse?
See, that's the thing. Like, I went way out.
Who's never placed in the top 4 this year?
They never placed top 4.
Who's never placed in the top 4? I think that's a good line to draw that. Nameless, for you, if there's a team, surprise result. Who's it going to be? Who's going to crack into that top 4 at Anaheim?
Ready for this one?
Yeah, I'm ready. I like it.
People are going to be like, wow, Ant's really switched up. Gen G is the dark horse for me.
Oh, what?
I think they're going to get top
Come
4.
on.
And you know why? Because finally people aren't expecting them to get top 4, and they're going to do it, right? Like, the pressure is off their shoulders. People have been saying they weren't going to go far in a tournament. We're starting to write them off. We don't think they're very good, and they've been choking their last few matches. So now they went home. They're going to be scrimming hard, and they had time to watch these teams play. They had film to go over, and they have mistakes that they know that they needed to fix. They weren't this perfect team that they thought they were, and I think they will get top 4 at this tournament.
It is a bit
answer,
of
but
he is right in the fact that, I mean, you know, at London, we were talking about, can they win the event? And with their showing these last couple of weeks, they've finally dropped off at the Pro League. I mean, the big thing for Gen G, the story always was for Gen G. Great at the Pro League, great in Columbus, had the first seed.
They were one map from a winner's final.
But we gave them up, though.
One map.
People do that all. People get that far in the
don't
tournament
get
all the time, and then we write them off. Look at Reciprocity, for example.
but-
we thought they were amazing because they got top 4. We were gassing them up. They got destroyed, and then we're like, okay, these guys are not even a top 8 team. We were considering that. That's how we were with Gen G. If you go watch the death segments, and you read the Reddit posts and Twitter after Gen G's chokes in all those matches, people have written them off all the way down to fringe top 8.
Yeah. All right, Pack, for you, if there's a team that can crack into that top 4, who's it going to be?
Evil Geniuses.
Good answer.
JCap, Apathy, Attach. These guys are amazing players, and we all know Apathy gets stronger as the game winds down. It's getting to that time. It's getting to that time, and let me tell you what, Phantoms is amazing. Fans was one of those kids that's on the rise. He had the best 2 weeks up from that entire team, and I'm not even looking to him to be that guy at the tournament. I'm looking at apathy. I'm looking at apathy to go off. I'm looking at Exotic to keep that consistent performance, and I'm looking at Tatch. Those guys are gonna go off. They're gonna get me a top 4 placing. Come on, Cap. Come on, Cap. Use some of that big brain that you got. Get EG there. And Evan.
And I think that's a team a lot of people kind of written off, right? In a little bit, it's a team that's sort of like, oh, they're top 8, right? Like if they get top 6, good showing for them. But yeah, I think they have the vets to do it. A lot of people have wrote them off. They did have a good couple of weeks. Phantoms showed up. That caught me off guard because, recency bias. We haven't seen them in a couple of weeks. But I'm actually surprised you didn't say reciprocity. I thought you were going to.
I mean, they already
They look pretty good.
See, by our rules,
they'd be a dark horse.
They still be a dark horse.
The rule was that they've already placed top 4.
Okay.
I mean, you picked
How's that?
You
fence you're
picked.
sitting on, Ben?
What do you mean fence? I went.
Nameless pretty much.
You went.
down.
Hold on. You went Gen G. You went Gen G.
They are absolutely a dark horse. Absolutely.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
All right, let me ask you this.
Hold
on, I got it. Do you think Gen G can win the tournament?
Win?
I would consider them a dark horse.
No.
Yeah.
By that logic, I mean, all right, I don't think United is going to win the event. Are they a dark horse?
No, but they can.
But they can.
But you know they can. Come on.
Shut up.
Just come
All
on.
right, guys, that's going to wrap on Quickscope. Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings. I believe that is going to put Nameless and Pac in the lead. Well, Ben?
I need a new picture.
Yeah, it's all good.
Ben need a new picture.
I need a new picture.
It's always fine. You know what happened last week? Everything I said came true.
That's
And,
true.
I lost, so denial,
I'll tell you what,
denial
though.
top 4.
If Denial places top 4, I'll give you.
You just win training shots for the year.
You can win for the year. Yeah, you got it. You can win for the year.
I swear to
You
God,
can win for
there's
the
a
year.
lot on the line now.
Yeah.
I don't care about your damn placings, but you have to finish top 4.
All right, guys. Well, now it is time for the grand finals. And it is down to 2. Pacman versus Nameless. The winner will enter the Smack Talk Winner Circle presented by ASTRO Gaming. We had a little rock, paper, scissors that went on, and Nameless was able to win that because the score is tied at 11-11. So my grand finals question is, who is in your finals at Anaheim? I know there's a couple of teams that everybody's thinking about, but for you, Nameless, you're up first. Who are those 2 teams?
It was going to be 100 Thieves versus E United. E United has looked incredible. You heard me talk about them earlier. Pristini going off. He's the best he's ever been. 100 Thieves, they get that wake-up call. They got 3-0'd by E United, and now they went back, they fixed their mistakes, and they won one of the most incredible series I've seen. It was a 3-0 in 25 minutes. Their Search and Destroy has looked that much better. When they lost to E United, they lost Payload, Search and Destroy. They lost Arsenal Control. What did they do? They played those same 2 maps in the next 2 series, and they dominated Payload both times. They won 6-2, then 6-1, and they won both of those Arsenal Controls. 100 Thieves is on top of their game. That loss woke them up. They will get back to the final, but this time it'll be against a new and improved E United who's been working on everything.
All right, so you're going 100 Thieves E United, a bit of a rematch. Pac, to you now, who is in your grand finals? I think there's 3 teams everybody's focused on for Anaheim. Are you switching it up?
Yeah, I'm going to go with E United. I picked them as my favorite. And then I'm going to put them in the finals against Optic Gaming. Optic Gaming has Crim6, the GOAT of Call of Duty. Before last season, he was in half of the finals. He's been 1 already. There's been 3 tournaments. This is about to be the 4th. 2. That's half. Optic's about to make it back Optic's about to make it back to another final. Now, in terms of 100 Thieves going back-to-back, you know how hard it is to go back-to-back? Usually in COD, if a team goes back-to-back, they are way ahead at the time. Even TK was way ahead. Rise was ahead, and that's why before that, the last team to go back-to-back was when Optic and IW at the end, there was a bunch of different winners. It's just that hard. When you're the winner, people focus on you. People are ready for what you have to do. They're aware of your vetoes and everything. 100 Thieves is not that far ahead anymore. It's just too hard to go back-to-back. Optic was 1 choke away from going up 2-1 in the winners finals against 100 Thieves to get to that final. I'm telling you, keeping Optic out of this final is blasphemous against Crim6's legacy. He's gonna make it back.
Why'd you play the Crim6 card?
Because he's the
We all
GOAT.
know he has that many championships. I don't think that has
Exactly,
much merit in this conversation. Optic looked great. Don't get me wrong, it's not absurd to say that they'll be in the final, but like to say that Crim6 has 30 championships, so
I didn't say anything about his
definitely
championships.
gonna be in the final.
I never said anything about his championships. I said something
You
about.
just said that.
I said
What?
about his finals.
Joe, did he not just bring up
he
Crim6
talked about the
championships?
finals.
I said his finals
Okay.
appearances. I said
All
his
right.
finals appearances.
All
He's been
right.
about half.
So you're acting like the players on 100 Thieves haven't had plenty of finals appearances?
They
Slasher,
have,
World
of course, but
Championship,
Slasher spent
multiple-
almost 2 years out of championships.
Dude, I can't even listen.
That never has happened to
I can't even
Crim6.
listen. The best point you made was about Optic and them fixing some of their stuff and them looking better. Obviously, I think that Optic looks like a fantastic team going into this tournament, but 100 Thieves has fixed stuff too. They fixed their search and destroy.
They have not fixed their search and destroy, by the way.
You said that 100 Thieves don't look ahead anymore. 100 Thieves, yeah,
I
United
said
is
wildly ahead. They don't. And by the way, 100 Thieves has not fixed their search and destroy.
They look just as good as last tournament.
100 Thieves is pretty good on payload search and destroy.
They look just as good as last tournament.
They look pretty good on payload search and destroy.
They fixed a lot of their search and destroy.
So when Optic veto,
they clutch up.
When Optic veto payload search and destroy, by the way, S&D is Optic's best game mode. So once they veto payload search and destroy and they don't have, and 100 Thieves doesn't have that crutch of a map to fall back on, you're hoping again that 100 Thieves beats Optic in 3 respawns. Again,
very possible.
Which is.
And 100 Thieves,
very possible.
And 100
it's highly
Thieves,
unlikely.
100 Thieves
highly
can beat Optic in search and destroy. You act like they're unbeatable in search and destroy. They absolutely can. 100 Thieves have been playing on LAN the last 2 weeks against the best search and destroy team in the game. They played at United, and they got to watch them this entire time.
So your defense of 100 Thieves S&D is that they played United and S&D.
Even in respawn.
And they got 3-0. So your defense of their S&D is that they played a good team in it and lost?
Okay.
Wow.
And then what did they do? They
That's
lost.
a good argument.
No.
They lost. And then they played lesser.
What did they do?
Yeah,
they played
they
the
lost,
next 2 days and won.
and then they played Elevate, and they played Splice with the
fill-in.
Okay,
that's fine. That's fine.
They lost, and they played Elevate and Splice
they
with the
went back at it.
Congratulations. I'm talking about the finals.
They won it back to back. Before that match, I talked to
They beat
Crowder.
Elevate and Search and Destroy.
Before that match, I talked to Crowder.
That is their worst game mode.
He said, I hope my team loses this because it will be a wake-up call. He said, see what happens after we lose this. What happened the next 2 days after they lost that? What happened, John? What happened?
They beat an average team. Elevate's not a top 8 team, and they beat Splice with Nosum. That's what happened.
Okay, but they dominated the maps that they lost. And that is the improvement that I like.
Against lesser opponents. I'm talking about the finals.
The little things
You're talking about 2 teams that went through 2 weeks of league play and didn't lose a match.
How you get back to a back-to-back championship. And I think 100 Thieves will do it. I think they'll get back. I think they may lose.
And how many times in the history of COD have we seen 2 teams go back-to-back and repeat back-to-back finals appearances?
I mean, we saw it last year. We talked about this earlier on the show.
Who?
We saw TK go back-to-back
No, I didn't say that.
finals.
I said, did TK play the same team in the finals back-to-back tournaments?
I mean,
that's what you're telling us that's going to happen.
That doesn't happen very often, but there's a first for everything.
When's the last time it happened?
We'll see it happen.
IW season 2.
Wasn't it Envy and Optic?
finals.
They did it back-to-back,
Yeah,
and they both looked like they were
2 seasons ago.
But it happened. Did it not?
So
that's
what kind
how rare it is.
That's how rare it is.
All right, boys.
It happened.
I liked both of the picks. I'm very surprised actually we didn't have an Optic 100 Thieves. I thought 100 Thieves. I feel like you have to put them in your final, right? I think it's too tough right now to say not. Yes, they did get 3-0'd by United, but I know the improvements weren't crazy, and I think they did show that they aren't that ahead. I thought we were expecting a lot more from 100 Thieves these last couple of weeks. The one thing, Pac, I think you could have probably brought up was both United and Optic go 7-0, right? They both go perfect 7-0.
I said that, he was screaming.
Maybe I didn't
said that.
Maybe
Come on, man.
But that is it was a close one, but Nameless.
You lost rock, paper, scissors, and you lost to me.
You suck.
I'm superior.
All right, well, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at our scores. And like I said, Nameless is going to be our winner. You're going to the Smack Talk Winner Circle presented by Astro Gaming. As the champ for the week, your prize is 60 uninterrupted seconds to say whatever you want to whoever you want. Put on that golden headset. Your time starts right now.
All right.
Put it on.
I'll put it on, you know. Let's put the mic down, too.
Yeah, I like that. Talk into it.
Some trash talk. First of all, John, you suck. That was absolutely. You have the worst win percentage on this show at 29%.
But at least he's here a lot.
He's on here every time, which gives him more opportunities to win. You're lucky that I'm not constantly sitting here to whoop your ass. Anyways, I want to talk to Envy, right? Envy, you have been trash. How have you been this bad at Search and Destroy? Let's go from the top here, right? You have Aches. Multiple championships, multiple world championships. He knows how to put a team together to win Search and Destroy, to win Respawn. It's not working. You have Bevels, right? Number 2, their coach. He comes from the Search scene. For some of you guys who don't know, his history back at home, this guy is a Search and Destroy all-star. You have Pharaoh. You have Decimate. These guys have taken so much money out of my pocket in Search and Destroy. On top of that, you have Hook. Hook and Silly. These guys are so talented. How can you not win a Search? Your team needs to figure this out, or you will start to get absolutely roasted by every single person in the community, and you're going to get dead last at this tournament if you don't figure out your Search and Destroy.
All right, so you're going right at Envy. I like it.
I mean, yeah, their team. Like, if I had that team, right? If I had that team, there is no way in hell.
Seconds. You had 60 seconds.
There is no way in hell I would be losing Search and Destroy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, Envy, they did not look good, and I thought we were all going to look at them these last couple of weeks after our top 4 performance, and we just expected better. We expected them to fight for the top of the division. They might not even guarantee a spot in playoffs now. Like, Envy, this was your 2 weeks to take advantage of Splice struggling, Heretic struggling. Instead, they're comfortable at top 4, and Envy is, well, bottom 4. Will probably have to fight through that play-in bracket at playoffs
roster,
after a top 4 place.
If you look at every roster, you would go, and before, let's say, like, you looked at it last month, you're like, that's going to be the best search and destroy team in the game.
Yeah.
Like, that's what a lot of people would say.
Yep. Well, we'll see what happens at Anaheim. Maybe they can turn it around, but let's go ahead and, take a look at our show wins and, maybe just throw a little bit reaction to the standings. I think it was what? How many wins you got now, Ant?
3.
You got 3 wins?
Win rate.
Yeah, 50% win rate. Okay. So you and Maven somehow have split. I mean, but for Ben and Pac, these guys are on every single show. So I do got to show
Joe
them
must get
some
just tired of listening to us because we work here all the time.
I don't know if that's it.
I think you just bring weak arguments and weak points, and your knowledge is feeble in comparison to mine.
Alrighty then.
I am inevitable.
Thank you guys for watching the show. We'll see you after Anaheim.